The world may never notice if a snowdrop doesn't bloom, or even pause to wonder if petals fall too soon. But every life that ever forms, or ever comes to be, touches the world in some small way for all eternity. On behalf of Amy, Sean and Kobe, I welcome you here this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, as we gather together with heavy hearts to celebrate the short life of Finley Sean Wootton. Finley was with us for such a brief time, but the impact he had on our lives will stay with us forever. There are no footprints so small that they cannot leave an imprint on our world. The loss of a child is the greatest loss we can ever experience. To have waited in anticipation only to suffer immense grief. So today our love and our thoughts are especially with Amy and Sean at this difficult time. There are so many unanswered questions that they may never know the answers to, and their pain is at times, I'm sure, quite unbearable. To celebrate the light that Finley Sean Wootton was in your life, I'd like to invite Kobe to come forward and light our candle for us. Thank you, Kobe. And as we pause for a moment, we reflect on this light, reminded of the little light that little Finley was in all of your lives. Even though he was with us for such a brief time, he was indeed blessed to have been loved so deeply by all of you present here today. To all of you who are feeling deep loss and grief today, I encourage you to think about the link between grief and love. Without the love that you had for Finley, you wouldn't be feeling that grief today. He was indeed loved. His life was blessed. So as we gather here, we celebrate his little life and the precious time that we had with him. We're now going to begin, ladies and gentlemen, just a short time of reflection, and I invite Sean to come forward to share this story with us.
Thank you all for coming today as we celebrate the life of Finley Sean Wootton. Firstly, I want to make special mention to Amy's family and friends who have travelled here from Melbourne and Darwin, and to our families watching via live stream in England and Melbourne. When Amy told me that she was pregnant, she had to attach a present to it for me. I'm not sure if that was to make sure I was excited about the whole thing or just to try and stop me freaking out for as long as possible. But that's how I got Far Cry 5 on the PlayStation 4. Looking back on it now, I was definitely a nervous dad to be. I'm assuming that that's a pretty natural reaction, but I was definitely a nervous wreck for 99% of this pregnancy. Every scan, I worried. Was there a heartbeat? Is there even a baby in there? Would I be a good dad? And that feeling never really left until Finley was born. Despite being 14 weeks premature, I actually calmed down once he arrived, despite all the issues and potential future health issues we knew and didn't know were coming. For those who are parents here, you'll know it changes you almost in an instant. I felt a clarity that I had not experienced ever before, and whilst I knew we were in for a really tough battle, I never thought I'd be standing here in front of you today. For those that don't know, Finley had been fighting an uphill battle for some time. After Amy spent some time in hospital around the 20-week mark of her pregnancy, we missed our scan date and had to have it around the 22 weeks. It was here they found an issue with the size Finley was growing. After some more scans and tests which ruled out genetic issues, the doctors advised Amy she had very early preeclampsia, a condition that affects the blood flow to the placenta and often leading to premature or small babies. With high blood pressure, Amy was admitted to the Women's and Children's Hospital, not only with concern for Finley's health, but also for her own too. After 2.5 weeks in hospital and very little growth of Finley's measurements, we were told to expect a child in the next week and a half. Within 3 days, that time frame had changed 3 times, and we were scheduled for caesarean on the Sunday at 10 a.m. Teresa and I received a call from Amy at 4:02 a.m. saying Finley's heart rate had dropped and they needed to deliver immediately. By the time we arrived at the hospital on Sunday the 26th of August, he had been delivered at 4:24 a.m. and weighing just 480 grams. The first time I saw Finley, I was immediately in love. It didn't matter how small he was or how many tubes he had. I wasn't scared or shocked. I was just happy and in love. We named him Finley because of its meaning, fair-haired warrior, as it was just perfect and spoke to everything we had already seen of his spirit. Over the next day and a half, we rode the most difficult roller coaster of emotions I know I'll ever go through. Twice the doctors advised us Finley's vitals had dropped, and twice he fought to stabilise himself. To the point where he had a really strong day from Sunday afternoon to Monday afternoon. The doctors had advised us that they were going to do a brain scan on the Monday afternoon, and it was then that their worst fears were confirmed, that he had a bleed on his brain and there was nothing they could do. Denial would have been easy to slip into, but we knew that we had to let Finley's condition guide how much time we would have together, to make sure he was not in any pain or discomfort. Amy and I made the heartbreaking decision to let Finley go on the Wednesday, giving our families a chance to say their goodbyes and us time to love our beautiful boy. We are comforted in the knowledge that he was never in pain and always comfortable. Our little man fought so hard, but the world was just too big for him. We were able to give him cuddles and kisses before we said goodbye. I read him a goodnight story, and we wrapped him in his blanket. At 7:04 p.m. on Wednesday the 29th of August, Finley took his last breath and we said our goodbyes in the Mayfly room in the Women's and Children's Hospital. Finley, you taught me more in 4 days of life than I think I'll ever learn in a lifetime, and I will be eternally grateful for that. I know that this will never be easy, but we are thankful to everyone who helped you fight hard enough to give us 4 beautiful days with you to create and cherish some unforgettable memories. To our family and friends, Amy and I just want to thank you all for your support. Each and every one of you have contributed, whether it be taking Kobe to school, to allow me to work, cooking food, cleaning the house, running Kobe around to sporting events, taking us shopping, visiting Amy, or just being there to talk to. We will be forever grateful. And lastly, I'd just like to thank the Women's and Children's Hospital, specifically the A&G ward, delivery, theatre, NICU and MFM team, the nursing staff who cared for Finley, Bree, Michelle, Kathy, Claudia, Adam, Teresa. Your love and support went above and beyond and made the unbearable just a tad easier. To the doctors involved with Amy and Finley's care, so Dr. Stark, Dr. Muller, Dr. Kosher, Dr. Anderson, Dr. Kennedy, Dr. Sridharan, Dr. Bhatia and Dr. Wilkinson, we could see how much Finley meant to you as you tried everything possible for him. And we cannot thank you enough for giving us the opportunity to meet our little man and create 4 days of unforgettable memories. Amy and I wanted to honour Finley in our own special way. Because of Kobe's love of reading, we wanted to organise a bookcase full of books to allow family and siblings of children in the NICU at the Women's and Children's Hospital to read to them. In lieu of flowers, if you'd like to donate, there will be a collection box outside. Once again, thank you all for coming and for all your support. Amy, Kobe and I are extremely grateful and lucky to have such amazing family and friends. And Amy just wanted to finish with a quote that I didn't want to kiss you goodbye. That was the trouble. I wanted to kiss you goodnight. And there's a lot of difference. Thank you.
And thank you, Sean, for that really, really beautiful tribute. That would have been so hard, and you did amazingly well. We're going to allow just a few moments now, ladies and gentlemen, just allow you to reflect on your own personal memories of little Finley. To aid you to do this, we'll have some photographs on the screen. I invite you during this time to simply say to him what is deepest in your hearts.
When the night has come and the land is dark and the moon is the only light we'll see. No, I won't be afraid. Oh, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me. So darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand now. Stand by me. Stand by me. If the sky that we look upon should tumble and fall, or the mountain should crumble to the sea, I won't cry, I won't cry, no, I won't shed a tear. Just as long as you stand by me. And darling, darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand now. Stand by me. Stand by me.
Some really beautiful, precious memories there. These are my footprints, so perfect and so small. These tiny footprints never touch the ground at all. Not one tiny footprint, for now I have wings. These tiny footprints were meant for other things. You will hear my tiny footprints in the patter of the rain, gentle drops like angels' tears of joy and not from pain. You will see my tiny footprints in each butterfly's lazy dance. I'll let you know I'm with you if you just give me the chance. You will see my tiny footprints in the rustle of the leaves. I will whisper names into the wind and call each one that grieves. Most of all, these tiny footprints are found on Mummy's heart, 'cause even though I'm gone now, we're never truly apart.
Ladies and gentlemen, that does conclude our service. On behalf of Sean, Amy and Kobe, I'd like to thank Barbara for leading us in service today. You all now have the opportunity to join the family for some tea and coffee in our lounge. Thank you.